Ooh, that is a very nice one. How do you decentralize, or how do you help decentralize decision making? Traditionally, organizations, particularly those born or coming through the 20th century, have a lot of centralized functions. They put a lot of decision making ability in one area, and everybody comes to them to get a decision and then goes away. And it's slow. Okay? It means that you can make very good decisions, but very often too late in today's environment. We're in a much more volatile, unstable place where decisions need to be fast, often made with minimal information. And these centralized functions can't do it fast because they have to gather the information, and because their job is decision making, they want to make the right decision. So they want more information, and by the time they've got all that information, the decision is either too late or the information itself has changed and they need to revise their decision that they never actually made, and we go nowhere. So how do we help organizations understand this and over time give authority and autonomy back out to the edges of their organization so that people with the information can make decisions as and when they need to? This is all really going to be based around a culture of trust. You have to be able to trust that the people with the information can make good decisions. So we're talking about bounded decision making. I'm not saying that we let a developer in a team, change the entire organizational strategy. It's working out who's the right person for the right decision. Early on, that's going to be, it's everybody in the center. We are the right people to make decisions. So what we need to do is start challenging that in small ways. Do you have somebody outside of your team who has significant influence on the technical approach? Okay, well, we need to work with them to help them become confident that the team are capable of doing that they trust the team to do a good job. And the way to do that is by engaging them, by talking to them, bringing them through your thinking process and asking them for advice, turning them into mentors rather than decision makers. Go to them with ideas, go to them when you don't have ideas, and work with them, and out of the other end is going to come good stuff. And slowly, over time, they're going to understand your team's decision-making abilities and processes. And if they're good, they will start to trust them. And if they're not so good, they will work with them because that's their role. Right? They very often do want to be mentors. People who move into those roles are highly experienced. Okay? They are the ideal candidates for mentoring your team in those early days. And what's going to happen over time is the team's decision-making capability is going to come up. It's going to start being more in alignment with the organization's wishes. Okay? And when that happens, that senior person is going to allow them to take on more and more of that role. Not necessarily all of it. We're asking for a big organizational change for all of it, but some of it. Slowly, they're going to loosen the reins just a bit. What's going to happen then is that senior leader now has more time. And if I'm honest, it's probably going to disappear into the whirlwind of the rest of the business. But if we do this enough, we're going to start noticing that we have a great team or a few teams, and they are great. They are able to make really good decisions that are really only coming back to the centralized decision-making function for ratification. The centralized people don't need to make decisions anymore. They just need to understand the thinking and say yes. Okay? And with that comes quite a powerful influence. We have a team that is now actively held back because of people outside of it. People who trust them to do a good job. And now we can start opening the question about if we took that little bit more of that work off you, right? And let's flip it round. Instead of you telling us what to do, because we'll do all the work, we'll come to you and then you can tell us that we've got the right idea. Why don't we tell you what we're going to do? And if you've got concerns, we'll absolutely come and talk to you. Okay? Really, this is about intentionality. Okay? What we have to do is, as a team, prove our competence, prove our capability. Okay? And as we do that, it allows them the option of intent-based leadership. So instead of telling people what to do, right, and being incredibly busy telling people what to do, they can instead listen to what people are thinking and determine whether or not that's in accordance with what needs to happen for the business, and let them do it. Often only getting involved in those rare exceptions. And suddenly that centralized person has more time again, because now we've got teams out there making decisions, good decisions, in alignment with what the organization wants, because they've learned how to do that. And our central person has more time to maybe do higher value work than making decisions that, let's be honest, those teams could probably have always made. Okay? So they're going to start getting involved in other things, adding more value to the organization, and, let's be honest, looking better. So that's what we're doing. Every step of the way is we're working with individuals. This is not working with compliance as a department. This is working with Manjit. Just that one person, helping them understand the capabilities of our team, so that when we're not working with Manjit and compliance, they can take our flag forwards for us and say, actually, they're good. They know what they're doing. Within this boundary, they can make really good decisions. Outside of it, they will more than happily work with us to understand better and release our time so that we can do more important work and better work. Okay? And slowly, you're going to evolve that organization. And when I say slowly, I mean very slowly. What we really need at that point is senior leaders to be getting involved and saying, this is a good pattern, it works. How does it work in a larger setting? And very often what happens then is conversations around true decentralization. Who has the information to make that decision? Okay, what are the boundaries, what are the constraints we're going to set on those people with the information to make decisions? How do we make it safe for those with the information to quickly make decisions, but when they get it wrong, and they will, it doesn't wreck the company? So what's the level at which they have to present to other people? Okay. And now we have lots of people in the organization, those who are first-hand holders of information with the authority to act. Not on everything, but within the sphere of their clear influence. They can make decisions, they can move the organization forward. And the role of the leader is then one of alignment, not management. It's about making sure everyone understands what we're trying to achieve and why that's important, not how to achieve it. So when we're thinking about that move to decentralization, the first steps are going to be slow. They're going to be quite painful as you cast around for the people who are willing to trust. But as you find them and you work with them, your team or teams are slowly going to gain more and more autonomy. And you are going to gain more and more credibility as somebody in this space, somebody who understands how this all works. And you can start opening up conversations with other people until you have people with sufficient influence and you have sufficient evidence that this is good, that they are willing to take it on for you and start talking into the wider organization. Okay? At some point, if you're doing a great job, it becomes obvious. And senior leaders love the people doing that and are willing to champion them, because great work is very hard to come by in the modern corporate world. If you've got to this point in the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, a like would be appreciated. If you want to hear more from me, more answers to questions that maybe you've got in the Agile world, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question that you really want answered, drop it in the comments. I promise we'll get around to it. Thank you.